وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله هدى من شاء إلى الصراط المستقيم وأشهد أن سيدنا محمد عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. We have said that praise be to Allah the Almighty, who has united the hearts of the believers with the religion of Islam and has obligated us to remain united and not to become separated in his book, that is Quran and Quran. I witness that there is nothing, absolutely nothing worthy of worship except Allah, who is one without partner and guides to the straight way whomever he pleases. And I witness that Mohammed is his servant and his messenger. And we ask that the prayers and peace be upon Mohammed, upon his family, upon his companions, and us, dear Muslims. I'm very excited again to be here in my hometown, Chicago, Illinois, where I was raised. I also lived in Gary for 10 years, and to always see the wonderful believers that I have grown up with, many of them. You know, I've been here since Thursday, and I've done the Juma. I spoke at a program also yesterday, and now I came to this program, the Mosque, first Sunday, and I'm happy to come here. I appreciate so much what is happening with the Mosque, and I told my good friend Wallace Muhammad II at the convention, I'm just so thankful to Allah that he is continuing to produce the literature and books of Imam Muhammad and carrying on this work. You know, people are always asking me about some transcript on this and on that, and I say, I just told somebody earlier today, I say, look, you're always asking about these things, you ain't doing nothing with what's already out. No, seriously, I had to tell them that, because the books that are out, you're not producing anything from that. And I know, because I'm at a lot of these cities around the country, but they always want more and more material, more and more material. We have to use what we have, you know. They're not studying this language and etc. And you know what I said? And especially the Quran. You know, the Quran has been around 1,400 years ago, 1,400 years or more. And we're not using it to advance our cause. I'm happy to address you. I prepared a special lecture for this audience, and it's been mentioned several times: unity through diversity, but also connecting life's purpose for progress. You know, Imam Muhammad, rahimahullah alayhi, he said once, he said, everybody grows, but just because you grow, you don't necessarily develop. We got some people who have grown to be 30, 40, 50 years old, but they haven't developed in their development. They're like retarded, really. When I say retarded, in their human development, and that's a purpose that has been done by Shaitan. You know, you look grown and you say, man, I'm a grown man, but you playing video games all day, or you doing something else, or you're wasting your life. So we don't know what growth means until you develop along with that. And in psychology, they call it arrested development. You ever heard of this term?
Yes.
Arrested development. That meaning that the development of you and I as a human being is arrested in some states. Some people are arrested in their infant state, in their teenage state. You see, husband and wife can't get along because they're grown, having children, but they're underdeveloped in the responsibility of what life's purpose is. So I was telling Brother Hazard this morning, I said, you know, he asked me how did I rest. I said, I rested all right. I said, but I got all kinds of inspiration coming in my sleep. It happens to me all the time, so don't think of anything unusual. Because Allah is telling me what to do. Because He knows your souls, I don't. And I got up taking notes and I said, man, I'm gonna change my whole topic, if I do it this way. So what I had to do, I had to go, and I don't want to, I'm a student of Quran, because that is our life. Imam Mohammed, I was on the council of Imams, and this was in 1980 when I was on that particular leadership body. And we had a meeting, man, I'm gonna tell you, there was so much arguing going on in that meeting, just on simple things that he wanted done. But you had people in there that didn't want to do what he wanted done. I wasn't aware of it at that time, but I was always arguing. I wish they would show you the tape so you can see how much I was arguing. But in fact, it was made comment once. They said, be careful what you say around Qasim, because that's the Imam's boy. That was said about me, And yeah, I guess I was, because I would tell him everything was going on and what wasn't going on. But that's not why I'm saying this now. I'm saying this because I asked him, I said, Brother Imam, what do you think will help us when we're going to leave all this fitna and disunity and argument that's among us, And he said to me, he said, Qasim, he said, when our community learns how to read the Quran in its revealed language, you're going to see most of this just disappear. And I became so determined then to promote the Quran on a regular basis. Because he told me, he said, you can't have an Islamic community without the Quran. You can't. You can't even lead the prayer without the Quran. You get up here and try to say some your poem you wrote last night, or some great economic dissertation that you wrote in college, we're going to say, subhanallah, ya aki imam. You're saying the wrong thing. You can't even get up here and recite hadiths. As much as the holy hadiths. You can't do none of that. You must recite what? Quran. And if something is said wrong, any believer says, subhanallah, and put it in. Now, this was established by Muhammad, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, the Prophet, he said this. This is a hadith of his. He said, "Taraktum fikum ma in tamasaktum bihima lan tadillu abada kitabullahi wa sunnati." That I have left in you two things. That if you tamasaktum, cling to it, lan tadillu abada, you will never go astray. And that is the book of Allah and my sunnah. Now, there's a lot in that, and my good friend Ajeen Mohammed, we've been knowing each other for years. We're growing old together, my man. And if I would tell you some of the things we used to do, in our Black Revolutionary days, you say, man, they crazy. But we came to Islam together. Alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah. I came down, he wondering where I wasn't at the meeting. Next thing you know, he was at. He was here. Under Elijah. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who brought most of us to life. A great man, and I just tell you, and I think Allah, He blessed me to be an honor guard for him, and while he was alive, and to be an honored associate of Imam Muhammad. Well, his work is still going on now. I told somebody about the other day, they were talking about the different people that got Nobel Peace Prize. I said the greatest Nobel Peace Prize is the Quran coming in your life, because it brings peace from He who created peace. You see, you want to know, it's called the Noble Quran. Do you know that? Then when it's translated, the Noble Quran, it is the Nobel Peace Prize. It is the Nobel document. And I don't know why. I've always been saying this for years. What is happening with the Muslims that they don't want to live this book? We were in a meeting once with Imam Muhammad. There's 18 Imams. We were in Arkansas. And one of the first Ramadan sessions that he had. He was doing them every year. So he said, I want to ask a question, and then I want each one of you to answer it, and then I want to make comment. So he said, what do you think is the cause of the confusion in the Muslim world? And everybody was giving answers on this, because of lack of morals, because of this, because of envy, because of jealousy, and etc. And I'm waiting to give mine. I just knew I had the right answer. So he said, Imam Qasim. I said, yes, sir, brother Imam. I said, because they have left the Quran. And you know what he said? No. That's what he said. He said, no, that's not it. He said, they give the Quran to their babies, they recite it, etc., etc., etc. He said, what they have left is Muhammad. Please take a note of that. They left Muhammad, the demonstrator of the Quran of mercy and peace. Never forget that. Because I thought I had the answer. But I knew they couldn't be living the Quran. But no, they recite the Quran. He said they chant it all the time and they pray with it. Everywhere you go, the prayers call and they do the Quran, etc. He said, but they left Muhammad. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And Allah says of Muhammad in the Quran, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةٌ لِلْعَالَمِينَ. And we have not sent you except as a mercy to all worlds. But more clear from Imam Muhammad, the mercy to all of the systems of knowledge. You see how beautiful that concept is now? He said, why? He said, because the human being is the one that uses knowledge, and they have perverted the knowledge and polluted the air, polluted the water, polluted the food. They have polluted themselves. They polluted the ideal of God. You see? So this knowledge that man has come up with has polluted human life now to the man want to marry a man and the woman want to marry a woman. Now, what came to me this morning from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I wanted to introduce this topic. I had did several ayats from the Quran to make comment on it. Unity through diversity, connecting life's purpose for progress. And to get people to understand what Allah says in the Quran, خَلَقَكُم مِّن نَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ, that we have created you from one soul. نَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ, right? And but Allah guided me to an ayat right away and said, when it says, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ, that every soul will taste death. That's what came to me early this morning, right after Fajr. To reach the mind of us who are steeped in divisions. Why? Because, number one, if you are alive, there's one life that's been given to you, and you didn't purchase that life from Jews. That life was given to you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And just as sure as you live, you're going to what? Die. So there's life and there's death. Life is unified, and everybody's going to die. There's unity in death. You can discriminate where you want to be buried here, but you're dying. So in between your life and your death, there's this gap. The question is, what are you going to do in between this time? I'm 66 years old. I'm still a young man in spirit, in a whole lot of other ways. But I know I'm advancing. Imam Mohammed said once, he said, every time, every moment you live, you're dying in the same time. You're dying. So now, how do you want to live this life? Are you going to live it according